It's just an observation, really. Isn't it surprising how quickly change can happen? I was just thinking about how we can, in a second, have our world transformed. You know, it can be when we just we can think about something, and from when we're in a low mood or in depressed mood or sad or unhappy and whatever it is, and all of a sudden something will come to our mind, and we'll just kind of completely transform how we feel. I mean, often that's more with say a text could come through, or an email, or some sort of thing that's happened, or an event that's happened that's kind of come as a slight surprise, or a stranger has smiled at you, or there's someone being extra nice at the supermarket, or whatever it may be. But from a moment we can change. And literally, it's in a thousandth of a second. We can feel completely bereft of hope. And then something happens, a little event. I'm sure there's something that you can recall in your life that went from black to white, or white to black if you like. It's literally a binary change when something interrupted what you were thinking about and you began to feel better. I mean, happier, joy, elated, whatever level you felt, but you just noticed that shift. It just takes one thing to transform how you're seeing the world. It can take one thing to transform how you're feeling. And isn't that quite magical? Well, I think it is. I think it's I've had it happen to me where I've got certain things in my mind, and then, say, an email or text, something comes through, and it transforms how you're thinking. And it's just amazing how, and what I find about particularly amazing, I get really specific, and hope that's useful, it's that nothing actually has changed. I haven't won £1 million, I would have let you know that. Nothing has actually changed. I'm still the same person, still breathing the same air. My material world exists and remains exactly the same. My environment remains exactly the same. So there's only one thing that's changed, and that's how I've thought about something. It's all in my head. And I'm sure you've had experiences where that's happened for you, where you've gone from a particular sensation, a particular feeling, and it's just shifted how you've felt. Now, maybe you can draw upon loads more examples which are negative, where you've been feeling great and sometimes made you feel like shit. Well, that's probably easier to recall. But I'm also talking about the reverse of that, when you felt like shit and then someone or something has happened that has blown that away. And it's that kind of change that is available. It's there. You've experienced it. You felt it in other circumstances, other times of your life. And it's just incredible to think that it's still there, still available for you in how it may occur in different ways. But change happens in an instant, complete instant. And what it can take is that one word, that one phrase, or that one question, and then it washes away everything, and you see everything's changed. And you don't have to be rich or poor to achieve that. It's not about material things. It's not about where you are in your situation, your environment. It's completely to do with how your mental state is and your mindset, and how that comes in. And that's how quickly change can happen. That's how quickly you can make a decision. Now, I remember when I quit smoking a couple of decades ago, that it wasn't that I didn't know the facts about quitting smoking. It wasn't that I didn't know about the health hazards and so on. It wasn't that, as we all know. I had to make an emotional decision. I had to make a decision that was based for me on my feelings, not on the logic and the rationality of, obviously, it's not healthy. And for me, it was, my words, so you know what they were, was simply I made a decision that I didn't want to do that to my body anymore. I wanted to stop hurting it. And that was those words may not sound emotional to you, but they were emotional enough to me to make a shift and make a change. And I find, and once I did that, that was it. I went, from that moment, once I decided, I was stopped immediately. And I was probably about ranging 15, 20, sometimes when I was smoking more into 25s a day. So quite a bit. It wasn't the casual light smoker. But once I'd made the emotional shift, that was it, job done. I was convinced, clear. I had my emotional track, as it were. I was following my reasons for it, were powerful enough to pull me through. The rationality of it all, as you guys probably experience when things you want to change, when you know the rationality of it. You may have had situations which you know, yes, of course, logically you should stop or you should change or do something different. But you haven't reached that emotional track yet. My point being, it's amazing how our emotions, our feelings, our thoughts will dictate how we make the change happen, how it occurs. And I just want to leave with this idea. Some of us feel that change takes a long time, which I've explained it can do, but there are so many opportunities that change can happen in an instant. It doesn't need weeks and weeks and months and years. Sometimes change can happen like that, as quickly as that. And you can go and check this for yourself, go through your own personal history, and you're going to find an example of this, where either you've gone from feeling down to feeling elated over one event happening, one thing happening, and literally you can go like, how did that happen? Or the reverse, you've felt fantastic and then someone's knocked you down and taken the wind out your sails. But again, in the same thinking, nothing's materially changed. You're still the same person, the same environment, same situation. But something has shifted. Something has made a difference. And I'd just like you to remember that. It entertained me. I find it amusing. I love the fact that's available. I love that change isn't often an arduous slog. Change is instant, if we allow it to be. So, go on and just go back through your personal history. Remember when that have happened, and remind yourself, if you're facing a struggle right now, that sometimes all it takes is one thing to change, to transform how you're seeing a situation and really get the difference you're after. So yeah, go back, have a think, remind yourself when it has been true, and just notice that change is available to you. It's not something that's eluding you, it's available. And we'll find ways that we can break through that. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed that. Hope you've got something to think about, and I'll catch you next time.